Hey there, good morning. Um, this is what I'm about to share is probably the most sensitive subject that I can feel when you're fully awake and all your sensors are activated. And this is particularly true in some videos that I've done where I mention it, but I didn't go into much depth about it. But I know somebody that sort of touched on that subject, and it's one thing to talk about it, and it's an entirely different matter to feel it. And that was a lady named Teal Swan that talked about intimacy and sensitivity. How intimacy and sensitivity about being fully awake, which means you're fully integrated, which means you're just as much a girl as you are a boy because you're one, which is the purest of energy, which is the purest of fire. That means, and I'll just be truthful about it, when it comes to having an intimate relationship at every level in which we exist, which would be the mental field, the emotional field, the spirit, eyes to eyes, soul to soul. When the eyes and eyes meet, they lock. Wow. Bang. I'm experiencing how much fire you got in you. She's experiencing how much fire I got in me. Wow. I want to become what you are and you are what I am. That's one mirror. That's a monopole. That's a monad. That's what I am. So one of the things that I measured from the time I was a little boy, looking into a little girl's eyes, is the spirit of fire, how much fire you got in you. Your ability to be that intimate because you're fearless, which means you don't fear having the most intimate, powerful relationship to experience being the orgasm of first creation and experiencing being the grower of first creation, joined as one. That's the most intimate relationship that you can have between spirit and spirit, soul to soul. I know how to do that. I am that. So this is one of the reasons, even amongst other females that I met online in the spiritual and tribal and clan community, I'm measuring your resistance to experience that level of intimacy. Okay? As a result of what? What's still held in cellular memory that's yet to be cleared in order to experience the purity where you're experiencing the eternal spirit of fire, which means you are fearless to experience that level of intimacy at the level of first creation. That's what I map read. With every unit of software, of a unit of consciousness is experiencing itself that I become aware of. That's what I measure. Is their ability to have that kind of intimacy, which is what kind of a measurement? Sensing? How sensitive are you? The sense of touch. Do you know how to use your fingers to activate pressure points? Wow. Where did you learn how to activate that? That's called Tantra. Wow, you know how to light me on fire. Yes, we do. That's the point, is to light you on fire so that your fire doesn't go out and it becomes cold as rock, like cold volcanic rock, right? Like cold fusion. Light you up, turn the lights on, ignite that fire, the spirit that is in that fire to dance and play music. The spirit in the radio waves. Wow, you're a living star. Pure as the driven snow. Like ire. Merciful. Yes. Forgiving ourselves. Yes, and using the purest of love in which to do that. So forgiving myself is forgiving others. And I know how hard that is to do that. As a result of the harm we've experienced in us by virtue of those that harm us when we're loving them. I know. And being able to spin it back the other way from a reversal Metatronic. current spiral of being held captive to a system that does that, that's harvesting energy off of souls and eating spirits. Yeah. So you know the eternal spirit of fire is what heals us within us. And knowing what lights us on fire to dance to the music we play, which is musical spheres of first creation spheres. Yeah. That's what I do, and it works. I could share a lot of stories that is the evidence of that that's on my timeline record that I uploaded. So I speak the truth because I share what I experience with others, just like I do with all of you. Yeah. So intimacy, and that's having an intimate relationship with your true self. The relationship that we have with our Creator. Yeah. The eternal blessings, right? Eternal love is an eternal blessing, which is an eternal gift. So we're gifting ourselves, or experiencing the gift that we give to ourselves and we share with others. So we know how to heal ourselves through the purest of energy, which is the purest of love. That's what it began with. That's old school. Yeah, because that's like old, like eternal old, like the eternal spirit of love. Absolute pure love. So when you experience that within your own heart, you're healing ourselves. And when we're healing ourselves, we're naturally healing others. At the cellular level, because we have a cellular interface with the planetary cellular memory banks, all the records. So that was part of my mission, or our missions, right? Which is to kick the motor in gear. The power company comes in, turn the lights on. I call it kicking the motor up. You know, ignite the motor, mama. Let's start. You know what a tetrahedron is, yeah? I call that a drive motor, right? Kick the drive in, which means you want to fill up capacitors at a higher rate of speed without burning them up across the entire cellular memory bank terrain. And that ties directly into what Ashia covered in the Voyager materials about implosion and time, speed, and dimension. And something I was reminiscing a little bit ago in what we call a cosmic level cleanup, which means it doesn't matter what density you occupy. Like I know when Patty talks about, well, up in 5D and matrices, but this is cosmic level clearing. And Ashaya brought that out. In other words, there are different levels when you think of a universe and a multiverse and what a cosmic level solution is, engineering solution. Because we all communicate with each other, right? Through circuits, or if you will, consciousness communicating with other units of consciousness that are self-aware. What are you aware of? This is what I'm aware of, and this is what I'm aware of. Now we know we're both aware of it. So I can't be unaware of what I'm now aware of by virtue of what you're aware of. You're communicating with me. That isn't what love is. So that means that everywhere that I'm at, I'm always going to know the difference, which is the torque speed difference between what love is and what love isn't. And love is the law. Yeah, and so it's not like it's negotiable, knowing one from the other, the first one. So what I do is I make this simple, and that is being fully integrated and how much time we have in order to get that done. That's cosmic level stuff. That's not universe level stuff. That's cosmic level, which means, wow, it all began with full integration so that every unit of consciousness is experiencing the one, because that's what the law is. So if you live in honor and truth, which is eternal love, which is eternal truth, then you're experiencing what love is at the purest level of one wherever you go. Now we're back into learning speed, learning potential speed, because you know that the highest speed of learning, like when I covered it in the last video, right? You're not going to learn at the highest rate of speed through artificial intelligence. You're going to learn at the highest rate of speed when you're with the first music teacher. Because now you're experiencing the highest level of being filled up with love, which is healing us, which is healing the universe, which is healing the matrix, which is healing the cosmos. Which is, like I've said in the past, is that there isn't a unit of consciousness anywhere in the entire cosmos that is not experiencing what love is. That's a cosmos that's in love with itself. That's what the law is. So how long is it going to take us to get there? That's a torque speed differential between density and dimension in order to accomplish that. But that's where we're at. That's the much larger picture. Yeah. I remember this is like, I don't need another spirit or another communicator to let me know what I already know, but in order to validate what you already know. But when somebody else communicates with you, and then I'm recording it, and then I can say, yeah, but I don't know that. Yeah, but now I'm aware of it. That doesn't necessarily mean that that's true. But when somebody else communicates to you what they're communicating, and then I already know that because of what was held in memory by knowing that through a communication, then I can validate that, hey, you got the same memo. So that what we're doing is we're confirming the same information by another communicator communicating with us, antenna to antenna, to validate, yes, you got the same memo I did. And that was, if you will, a listening post. When you think of the first listening post, the first antenna, the first engine antenna, an open mic, a cosmic level antenna. I got the message. We got the message. Spirits are tired. Spirits are tired of fighting wars. So I remember this lady had communicated that spirits are tired, right, of fighting wars, generation after generation, millions of years after millions of years, on and on and on and on and on and on and on, right? When love is the law. So now you're into seeders and growers. And as I mentioned earlier, what is the most powerful seed and grower? A one. So the monads come together. Yeah. And so that's a large formation of consciousness, because the largest formation of consciousness that exists is the first engine, because that's the highest speed accelerator of the evolution of consciousness to experience coevolution, which is co-love. We're all experiencing being loved. So now we're experiencing the engine of creation, right? The first engine. We're all experiencing the law. Yeah, and that's what the law is. So that's knowing one from the other. So when everybody knows the one because they're experiencing the one, we solve the problem. So that requires a full data analysis, doesn't it? Right? Because it's an engineering problem, so it requires an engineering solution. So now we're into gene codes and code solutions. You realize the codes. It's a code problem. Code talkers, language, the language of communication, the language of DNA, the language of sound and light, right? In spirit, form, and flow with souls. So anyway, I wanted to get that off my chest because that's what I do. I share what I experience at the moment that I experience it, and any relevance that it has in time-space will be known by others who become aware of it. Have a beautiful day. We love you all. Be good to yourselves.